Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, I thought I'd be taking a closer look at two of my most favorite battle beasts. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at these guys. Created in 1986 by Takara Toys and distributed by Hasbro, Battle Beasts was a line of 2-inch figures consisting of anthropomorphized animals with cybernetic armor and parts. Each Battle Beast was part of one of three factions, or clans as it were, consisting of water, fire, and wood, meaning that none of them had exact power over the other, and giving them a rock, paper, scissors sort of feel. I guess the commercial can say it best.
Wood! Fire! Fire burns wood! Battle Beast! Fire! Water! Water puts out fire! Battle Beast! Water! Wood! Wood beats water!
In Japan, Battle Beasts have some connection to the Transformers, appearing in some of the Japanese episodes of Headmasters. However, Hasbro officially does not count them in the canon of the series. Okay, so here we have the tortoise and the snake. I don't think I actually went and forgot their names. That's actually what they were called on the back of the box. I guess the creators of the toys just decided to keep it simple. Although they would kind of have to, just because they had over like 100 of these guys, and eventually when they went to Japan it exploded even more. The tortoise was always my favorite growing up. I didn't actually own this guy originally. Well, there's actually two stories to this. The original one I used to play with actually belonged to my uncle, and him and the rest of the collection that I now have sat on the shelf, and me and my cousin would always say, hey, can we get those guys and play with them? And reluctantly he would eventually give in and say sure. But the tortoise was always one that I played with, and he was the one I always wanted to be. However, once he moved away, a lot of these guys got lost, and the tortoise was one that just was never found. So I had to track this guy down at a convention just to replace him. Let me see if the camera can focus in on these guys. But for what these guys are and how small they are back in the day, there is a nice amount of little detailing on here. You can see that nice dried, cracked, scaly skin, which makes me feel that he's more of a tortoise than he is a turtle. And because there's no tail, I wouldn't say he's a Gila monster, because maybe you could kind of almost get that feeling too. Plus this nice hexagon shaped shelled back here definitely screams tortoise more than turtle. But he has this nice orange and green armor. I think it really kind of matches with him and helps him pop out, especially with the contrast between the black and the orange. And for these guys, you can see a nice lot of little plating and paneling and just little extra things that they added to the armor that just help it pop out. And sometimes they had these little panels that were on their head. I don't know if they were considered helmets or brain enhancements or whatever. Now these guys also had these little decals on them that gave their allegiance to either wood, fire, or water. Sometimes all the animals didn't actually match up all the time, so go figure. Let me see if I can get the heat transfer to go to this guy. It's going to take a little while. This is the one little bad thing about these things, though, is their heat transfers would oftentimes fall off. I guess from constant rubbing or just the heat loosening up the sticky material that held them on. But to find these guys with little heat transfers, that's kind of a little bit of a rarity. And you'll see that on the snake guy too. His was damaged a little bit. So the thing is, I can't remember if this guy was fire or wood or water. I don't think he was water, but I think he was wood. Let me see. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I can't remember what this guy was. Shoot. Anyways, I'm going to move on. Now, the snake, on the other hand, he was one that I always remember having in my collection, so I think he was the one I owned from the very beginning. And I just remember playing with this guy a lot here at home, and then taking him over to my cousin's house and playing with him there. And likewise, he has some nice little detailing on him too. Let me see if the camera can focus. You get that nice little ridges down here for his underbelly, the nice little bit of scaling for the back of his head, and you can see little fangs and his nice little red eyes. Plus his armor is this nice blue and red, so it kind of really complements the green as well as with this guy. I also like how he has these little guns on his chest right here, so you could either have him shooting out his element or shooting out lasers or whatever. And here's one other thing that I always thought was interesting. Rather than giving him hands, they actually gave him 2 other little snakes for his arms. You can definitely see the little eyes right there and the little mouth that forms what they grip. But this is what's weird, is they don't give him any other little snakes here for his legs or make his legs tails or something. I would have maybe made it that each leg is one of these other snakes that act as a leg. But, you know, go figure. So just always makes me wonder, is this guy a snake with 2 legs and no arms, or is he one solid creature and he just happens to have 3 heads? I don't know. It was always weird. But however, I do actually, the 3-head look also gives him a little bit of a Hydra feel, so that actually makes him extra cooler in my book. Granted, the turtle's my favorite, but this guy has a special place in my heart because he was the first one I owned. So that's why I would consider them both my favorites. Now, sadly, this guy's little decal is damaged, and so I can't really reveal what his allegiance was to you guys, but I do remember that it was water. So I think wood would be able to beat water, and fire. Yeah, fire would beat wood, water would beat fire, and wood would beat water. So this guy is able to trump this guy. Anyways, this has been a look at 2 of my most favorite battle beasts. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show will be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.